Hey everyone, so this lecture is on prepositions and prepositional phrases, and I want to say at the outset, I realize that you probably know how to use them. You use them correctly. There's no issues around putting them in your paper, how to use them. The only reason I'm doing this is to distinguish prepositional phrases from subordinating clauses. Okay, and if you don't have that problem, you don't need to watch this, but it's for people who confuse the two. So I start off by giving you a bunch of prepositional phrases. After midnight, since Tuesday's night's bingo game, before the tasty breakfast, over the top of the house, for a good cause. And in all those examples, there are nouns such as midnight, or cause, or breakfast. And there are adjectives, like it's not just a breakfast, it's a tasty breakfast. And it's not just a cause, but it's a good cause. And there are also articles. All these little small annoying things. In a prepositional phrase, it's fine to see articles, it's fine to see adjectives, it's fine to see nouns. What you do not find, oddly enough, there are no verbs anywhere in any of these. And that's key, because if there's a verb, that probably means you're talking about something entirely different. So, it may look like these prepositions are arbitrarily chosen after, since, before, and over, but I chose them because they're also subordinating conjunctions. So, here are two, and it's important that you know when you're doing one or the other. So, before the tasty breakfast, no verbs. Before I go to eat that tasty breakfast, the verb go. This is a subordinating clause. This is just a prepositional phrase. No verbs. You knew how to do this one before you came in. Some of you don't know how to do this one so well, and so that's the one I want you to practice. Okay. So there are some, unfortunately for you, there are like 4 or 5 words that are crossover. They're prepositions and they're also subordinating conjunctions. And you just have to, you could memorize all 5 of them, or you could just say, if after has a verb in it, after I eat my submarine sandwich, okay, eat is the verb. Maybe you could tell that that is a subordinating clause. And the only reason it matters is because if you don't do one and you do the other. If you only do prepositional phrases, that's a problem, because I want you to be able to do both. Okay? So, now, I talked about this elsewhere, but let's just talk about it a second time. The only other example is for, and for is both a fanboy and it's also a preposition, and you need to know the difference. So I gave you an example of that. I fell asleep on TriMet this afternoon. For, I didn't sleep well last night. Now, why do you need to know which one you're doing? Well, first of all, they're punctuated differently, and they function differently. So with the fanboy, you need a comma, but with the preposition, no comma. And that is a mistake that some of you will give me. You're going to give me a comma before the prepositional phrase, and there's no need for it. So I fell asleep on TriMet this afternoon for about 15 minutes. Do not give me a comma here. You only want to give me a comma in this case, and so you kind of have to know each different construction calls for its own specific kind of no punctuation or punctuation. Okay? So let's review. There are some, not that many, there are some, and you know I'm going to ask you about this, so just learn how to do it. There are some words that are both subordinating conjunctions and prepositional prepositions. And you need to know when you're doing which. Okay? They're punctuated differently, comma versus no comma. And the same with for. For is the special case where it's a fanboy and a preposition. Otherwise, don't worry about this too much. If you already do subordinating clauses, fine and dandy. There's other fish to fry in this course, so don't even worry. Don't even think about this lecture again, okay? Okay, good luck.